You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play.
The options market can be a confusing place. Sorting through the daily avalanche of data, alerts, updates, articles, and analysis to find the most important information is an overwhelming prospect. But now you have help. Welcome to the Options News Rundown, the only program that breaks through the noise to bring you the most important news and information from the world of options. Every day, we bring you the top 5 option stories curated by the options experts at theoptionsinsider.com, the premier source for options information. The Options News Rundown is brought to you by Market Taker Mentoring, the leader in options trading education. Get trader education, daily trade ideas, and more with a free 1-week trial of Market Taker Mentoring's Live Advantage Group coaching class by visiting markettaker.com/insider. And now it's time to break through the noise. It's time for your Options News Rundown.
Good morning. Today is Tuesday, March 5th, 2019. This is your Options News Rundown. I'm Dan Passarelli. Our first story today is from investing.com. It's the top 5 things to know in the market on Tuesday. The first thing to know is China cuts 2019 GDP growth target. China said it was targeting economic growth of 6 to 6.5% in 2019, down from the 6.6% growth reported last year that was already the lowest in decades. The environment facing China's development this year is more complicated and more severe, Premier Li Keqiang said at the opening of the annual meeting of China's parliament. There will be more risks and challenges that are either predictable or unpredictable, and we must be fully prepared for a tough battle. Beijing also offered more stimulus, including cuts in taxes and Social Security fees, increases in infrastructure investment, and lending to small firms. Target reports earnings is the second thing to know today. Target is one of the last notable names slated to report quarterly earnings results as the fourth quarter earnings season winds down. The retailer is expected to report earnings of $1.52 per share on revenue of $22.92 billion, according to analysts polled by investing.com, when it reports before the opening bell. Investors will be closely watching the results for progress in its efforts to boost online sales in particular. Other notable companies reporting results today include Kohl's, Ross Stores, and Urban Outfitters. The third thing to know today is ISM service data is out. After a recent batch of disappointing economic reports, the Institute for Supply Management survey on service sector activity will offer fresh insight into the strength of the economy. The survey, due out for release at 10 a.m. Eastern, is forecast to rise to 57.3 in February from the previous month's reading of 56.7. Today's economic calendar also features the latest new home sales report, as well as federal budget figures. There will also be some Fed speakers to pay attention to: Boston Fed President Eric Rosengren, Minneapolis Fed President Neil Kashkari, and Richmond Fed President Thomas Barkin are all set to deliver speeches throughout the day. The U.S. dollar index was at 96.68, not far from the previous day's 2-week high. In the bond market, U.S. Treasury prices dipped, pushing yields a tad higher across the curve, with the benchmark 10-year yield rising to 2.73%. Fourth thing to note today is U.S. futures point to a higher open. U.S. stock futures pointed to a marginally higher open as the Chinese government's reduced growth target reinforced concerns about a global economic slowdown. Elsewhere, European stocks hovered around the flat line, with the Pan-Regional Stock 600 Index struggling to extend a 3-day rally that saw it hit a 5-month high a day earlier. Earlier, markets in Asia closed mostly lower, but shares in mainland China managed to buck the regional trend thanks to promises of more stimulus from Beijing. And the fifth thing to note today is oil prices tick lower ahead of the API report. In commodities, oil prices ticked lower ahead of the release of fresh weekly data on U.S. commercial crude inventories. The American Petroleum Institute is due to release its weekly report for the week ended March 1st at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's amid expectations of a small gain of about 388,000 barrels. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures were down 40 cents or 0.7% at $56.20 a barrel. Meanwhile, international Brent crude oil futures shed 48 cents or 0.7% to $65.19 per barrel. The report said that Libya's biggest oil field had resumed production with an initial output target of 80,000 barrels per day. Our second story today is from investing.com. China suspends customs clearance for Tesla Model 3 imports. China's Customs Authority has suspended customs clearance procedures for Model 3 cars built by Tesla Inc., the financial publication Caixin reported on Tuesday. The report said that Customs Authority in Shanghai had found various irregularities in 1,600 imported Model 3 cars, including the improper labeling of vehicles. Customs has notified Tesla not to sell or use Model 3 vehicles that have already been cleared, the report said, citing a notice issued by the authority on March 1st. The authority has also urged inspectors at all ports responsible for importing vehicles to step up inspections of other imported Tesla models and suspend their release if similar problems are recovered, the report added. The car maker was not immediately available for comment. Tesla has been trying to roll out the Model 3 in China ahead of schedule in a bid to revive sales hit by the Sino-US trade tensions. Our third story today is from MyXOptions.com. It's a press release. MyX Emerald successfully launches trading operations. MyX Emerald, the newest U.S. options exchange, successfully launched trading operations on March 1st with the rollout of options on its first symbol, IBM. MyX Emerald will continue listing options on IBM for its first week of trading and begin rolling out additional symbols thereafter. With its launch, MyX Emerald joins current options exchanges, MyX Options and MyX Pearl, as part of the MyX Exchange Group. All three exchanges are subsidiaries of Miami International Holdings. And our final story of the day is from InvestorsAlley.com. Is there finally a cheaper alternative to the VIX? When it comes to trading volatility, the VIX has long held the crown as the most viable product on the market. Products based on the VIX, the S&P 500 Implied Volatility Index, have been one of the most notable additions to the trading universe in the 21st century. In fact, the CBOE Global Markets introduction of tradable VIX products has essentially turned volatility into its own asset class. Consequently, the VIX is such a popular product that it basically has no competitors. It's good news for CBOE, which can charge a premium for trading fees on VIX futures and options. However, clients who trade VIX products, including exchange-traded funds, have to eat those costs or pass them on to the end user. And this article kind of goes on, and I think there's a point near the end of it. So if you want to read the rest of this article, you can surf on over to theoptionsinsider.com. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is news you can use for today, Tuesday, March 5th, 2019, your Options News Rundown. I'm Dan Passarelli, trade smart, and have a great day.
The Options News Rundown is brought to you by Market Taker Mentoring, the leader in options trading education. Get trader education, daily trade ideas, and more with a free 1-week trial of Market Taker Mentoring's Live Advantage Group coaching class by visiting markettaker.com/insider.
The preceding program was a production of the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play. Don't forget to follow along with your favorite programs and submit your own questions for the hosts at twitter.com/options, facebook.com/theoptionsinsider, or via questions at theoptionsinsider.com.